Welcome to the fifth episode of Talking Cricket with Aakash. I'm Arya Yuyutsu, and Aakash Chopra is here with me to talk to you about the various issues in Indian cricket, and especially right now, the India Australia series. So, Aakash, to begin with, let's get to the Virender Sehwag issue. Is his career over?
Well, Virender Sehwag was put on notice. The moment the selectors decided to drop Gautam Gambhir, it was quite clear if he doesn't perform, he would have to make way. That is what has happened. Unfortunately, he hasn't scored runs in the first two test matches, and hence the exit was imminent. But then, personally, I feel that it should not be the end of the road. It could prove to be a bend because he being an opener, we'll always find that there are openings, there are vacancies because India is likely to tour abroad now. Next 10, 12 test matches are away from home, and that is when we need the openers the most. Two, he's an experienced cricketer. He's obviously scored so many runs that if he gets his or he puts his mind to matter, starts scoring a lot of runs, there is every opportunity or possibility that he'll be looked at. So that option will always be lurking in the selectors' minds. But it is going to be tough. He'll have to work 10 times harder. He'll have to become fitter, meaner, leaner, and then start scoring a lot of runs, which may also mean that requesting the selectors to put him on that India A tour to South Africa, or talking to a few counties in England and then finding a deal there and play two-thirds of the season, score a lot of runs, and find or fight his way back into the side.
Now, you've played quite some cricket with Virender Sehwag, haven't you? Be it at domestic level or at the international level. What's going on in his mind right now? What's he feeling? How could he cope with this?
The Sehwag I know is the most honest guy I've ever come across. He's brutally honest with himself, or at least he was. He was the first to acknowledge that he is the one who has goofed up. He is the one who hasn't gotten the runs, and perhaps he's the one who should be dropped. And he has actually said that, articulated that on many occasions when he wasn't getting the runs. So I'm pretty sure that he hasn't changed, and he's still thinking along the same lines. So now the road is quite clear. Get fitter, score a lot of runs, get back into the side. The only difference that I can make out is that he isn't acknowledging the fact of that times have changed, that he isn't the same player anymore because eye-hand coordination has slightly gone down. Maybe it has something to do with his eyes, maybe it has something to do with his age, and hence there was a need to reinvent and find another template to score runs in test match cricket. So that is something that he'll have to look very closely into. And if he's considering number 4, number 5 as a position for himself in test match cricket, then again he'll have to assess it and start working on it now onwards. Make this summer count, make the first half of the next first class season count, and who knows, he could actually be on the flight to South Africa with the Indian team.
Since we are talking about your experiences with the Indian team, you were there when India went down to Australia in the 2003-04 Border Gavaskar series. That was a memorable tour. What's changed from then to now? What's the difference between the two series?
2003-4 series in Australia was one of the best series that I have been a part of. In fact, it will go down as one of the best test series for India overseas, because that was the series where we managed to draw the test series when everyone thought that we'll actually be the whipping boys. And the difference compared to what we are seeing right now is that there was a separate game happening on every single day. Yes, it was a test match, played over 5 days, and toss and then the way the first day panned out always had a bearing on how the match progressed, or generally it is assumed that it will have some impact on the way the match progresses. But that series was different because every day you would have to be at your 100%, or else the opposition will take the game away from you. Things changed so radically, like Adelaide. Australia had a fantastic first day, scored over 400 runs, but it was India who went on to win the game. Melbourne, India had a decent day one in that Boxing Day test match, and Australia actually went ahead and won the game. So that series was something which obviously kept everyone on their toes. I can't say the same for this series because here, if you have a good day one, it is almost guaranteed that you'll win the game. And I don't see it changing either because this Australian team isn't looking that great. It's looking perhaps the weakest team to tour India.
We just can't skip past the man of the hour, Che Pujara, who notched up his second double ton. What sort of an impact do you think he's had on the Indian team and on the youngsters watching the game right now and on Test cricket in general?
Well, Chiteshwar Pujara, we always knew that he's someone who's cut out to play international cricket because he has the ability to bat time, a rarity in this day and age when youngsters are more inclined to tinker their skill set to suit the demands of T20 cricket. Pujara was an antithesis of his times. He would bat time, he would score tons of runs in domestic cricket, and his hunger for runs was insatiable. And that's what we are seeing even at the highest level. And I keep reiterating that whatever worked for you in domestic cricket will hold you in good stead in international cricket too, provided you have enough faith in your abilities. And that's exactly what Pujara is displaying right now. He knows the art of batting time, he knows the art of constructing an innings in a day's game, and he's got a watertight technique. Yes, he hasn't really toured abroad much, and another facet of his cricket will be tested there. But as of now, he's come as a revelation. And one thing that I'd like to add is I hope that Chiteshwar Pujara's success in Test match cricket is inspiring a lot of young Indian batsmen to consider playing Test match cricket as a viable career option. So I think Chiteshwar Pujara has done Indian cricket a lot of good.
And no episode would be complete without a question from one of our viewers or listeners, should we say. This one's from at ADJ2411, who asks, is Ojha being treated fairly? I know you've been a big supporter of Pragyan Ojha, and I'm sure you'd love to answer this one.
Pragyan Ojha, personally, I think no, he isn't being treated fairly. He was someone who was India's spearhead in the previous Test series. He took 20 wickets at 30 something against England at home. While everyone else around him, or at least most people around him, were failing, he was the one who kept India in the hunt. He took wickets, he put on the brakes, and he was someone who always gave India a chance, a fighting chance of sorts. But come Australia, similar conditions, nothing has changed. We are still playing on rank turners, and it's only him who's missing out. In fact, guys who didn't really set the world on fire against England have actually found a place in the 11, but not Ojha. I feel really strongly about him, and at one level, sorry for him because he should be there. He should have been the first name in that bowling lineup, and rest could have been decided later because this off spinners to left-hander theory is not really holding water as far as I'm concerned. In practice, you must play your best bowlers, and Ojha definitely is one of the best bowlers India has had.
And that's all we have time for from this episode of Talking Cricket with Aakash. Thank you, Aakash Chopra, for answering all of that. And for the viewers here, or the listeners, should I say, if you want to ask a question to Aakash Chopra, just tweet with the hashtag Talking Cricket with Aakash. Or leave a question in the comment section below, and I'll pick the best one or two questions to ask to him next time. That's all for today. Chop chops.